Liliana's 10 years old. She has a twin brother. She's very rambunctious. She's opinionated. She's definitely a talkative child, very mature for her age.
I like crocheting. I love art. I'm really artsy. Like painting, chalk. I love clay. I really love clay. I like playing my cello. My teacher says I'm super good at it, which I really like.
She's luckily a very strong-willed child, which I learned is actually great for everything that she's been through. Liliana and her brother were born at 36 weeks, and then soon after she started having chronic ear infections till we got tubes at Children's. She was hospitalized just before she was 2 years old in respiratory distress. She had more hospitalizations after that, just for breathing issues. We had a lot of inconclusive answers.
And that was like one of the first times that I remember Children's being like super to me and like caring for me, cheering me up, making me feel like it's not the hospital.
2 years ago, she would start vomiting, get dehydrated. It happened where she had to get hospitalized and transferred to Children's. In 2022, they got COVID. And within 5 hours, we were here at Children's in the ER. And I ended up having to call my mom and dad to tell them that they're putting her on a ventilator. And we're not sure what's gonna come out of it. And the whole time I'm thinking her brother's at home sleeping and not even knowing that she's gone in the first place. Within the first 24 hours, her blood pressure did stabilize. Within a week, she's out of the ICU. Mr. Pickler.
Yeah.
She's diagnosed with chronic persistent asthma. All of a sudden, again, she got sick. So they called in every specialty. And they explained to us that they're going to test her cortisol levels, and they diagnosed her with adrenal insufficiency. She's clinically treated as if she has PCD. The team at Children's is amazing. Like I said, it was great to see how many departments all work together to try to find a cause of what's going on, because the first time with her in the hospital in ICU last year, you could think it was COVID related. They still brought in other departments to try to figure out answers. Then when they realized it wasn't that, and we came back for the second ICU admit, that they pulled out all stops. Every single department came and collaborated. They all came through. They worked together to try to understand what was going on, from her regular physicians, her normal pulmonary and ENT team, to endocrinology, rheumatology, infectious disease, immunology, everybody, just to rule out things. They're like, we don't know the why, but we're gonna work to at least rule out things to get us to that why.
My latest day I remember is probably November 1st of 2022. I was hospitalized again, and then they transferred me to Children's.
Every time I think about describing Liliana, she is full of curiosity, full of energy, full of ideas, full of excitement, full of information. It's gonna sound cheesy, but she's full of hope. With Liliana's case, it really made it very clear what we do here. This is a family that was in crisis, and we're worrying about 1,000 different very, very frightening things. Worrying about school should not be a frightening thing, and that should not have been a burden on Mom or on Roman. He's worrying about his sister. He should not be having to remember math facts right now. For me to be able to take one stressor off her shoulder so she could really just focus on being a mom and not a school advocate that moment, I think that's why we're here.
The child life were amazing because my brother really wanted to visit me in the hospital, and my mom was like, no, you don't want to see her, she has all these tubes and stuff, but he was adamant. They came in and they explained to him oh yeah, this is what's giving her fluids, this does this for her, and it was super nice.
He had some kid questions, some of them would be very serious, and then some of them would be off the wall, and they helped him with that, and they just assured that everything's working to help her and make her better.
We have so many kids who come with very unique and very serious medical conditions. Hospitalization can really disrupt school and have lasting implications. And so by having our program here and available to every kid who sets foot here, whether you are the patient, whether you are the sibling, whether you may even be a very young parent, we make sure that being here doesn't take away from your school opportunities. The donations to a program like ours are crucial because without them we would not exist. We cost nothing to the patients, we cost nothing to the schools, and we provide an incredibly valuable service that we could not provide without full donations.
So we continue to follow up every 3 months with all of our specialists and just hope to keep getting a clean report. Like, yeah, everything's good. My biggest takeaway from what they do at Children's is that they save lives. And that you see kids like Liliana walking around that a lot of people don't know anything's wrong with her. And they're like, well, what's wrong with her? And it's like, she's here because of the miracles that they do here.
Today is the second time I was hospitalized last year. I'd thought to bring some treats. I really loved my care at Children's just because they made me feel at home. They always cheered me up. They were mainly focused on how you were feeling, what you're needing right now. Their care team was amazing because they would just make the stays even better. Even though, yes, they were doctors, but they would still act like your friend.